black on top. It's always a shiny jet black, so don't confuse that with a copperhead or a tiger snake. And they generally have this red, sometimes it's a bit of a pinky colour underneath. You will find them near water, rivers, creeks, dams, things like that. They're a big frog feeder, skink feeder, but they're also very opportunistic. They will eat mammals, birds. There's even photos of them eating trout. Okay, so they are quite varied in their diet. So he's actually going to come up and take. He usually bites and hangs on. And you guys will step back for me. Alright. Comes out, we'll all know about it. There we go. Alright. So you'll see he's actually biting that, and he is, I guarantee you, injecting venom. So they're not as potent as some of the other species that we're going to show. You still wouldn't want to get bitten by them. They're helping camouflage in the wild, because what it does is it actually breaks up the body part, very similar to how a tiger works. Big cat, you would think that you'd be able to see one, but in its proper habitat, you won't, okay, because they just blend in. Those stripes actually break up the silhouette of the animal. Now, tiger snakes also live near water, and they do feed on frogs and skinks, but again, they're very opportunistic. They will feed on other mammals and birds. I've seen them go up trees to get to birds' nests, into hollows to get mammals and things like that. Don't be confused, they aren't always banded. Alright, there are quite a lot of black tigers, especially on the islands. So if you head towards, from anywhere from South Australia, all those little islands that go down through to Tasmania, such as Chapel Island and that, they are black. And the reason they're black is that black's a very good absorber of heat. It doesn't get as warm as it does around here. So when it does get warm, they need to be able to warm up quite quickly and then be able to move off and catch their food. Now he's usually a pretty good feeder, so I'll get you guys to step back again. Again, he will bite and hang on, and he will still be injecting with venom. He's going to get a mouse as well.
Is that alive?
No. But I'll make it look like it's alive. Alright.
Wow!
Okay.
Now this one.
Pretty good now.
Now
Doesn't take long with some species, no. Okay, the next snake, we actually found here in South Australia. This is actually one from New South Wales. The reason we have it here is it is an endangered species. In fact, it's the most endangered species of venomous snake that we have here in Australia. It's called the broad-headed snake. It's in a family with two other members, the Homocephalus group. They don't play well with us. They look at you and bite you at the same time. They've just got nasty dispositions. But having said that, if left alone, they're quite fine. Okay. They certainly can be quite potent in their venom. I knew one guy that was bitten by one in captivity, and he crashed within 5 minutes. Okay, so the time I got up from the reptile house to the vet centre where we'd got one in and he was handling it, yeah, he was basically crashed on the ground. So yeah, 6 ampules of tiger snake, antivenin later, and he's still in intensive care. So not good for a 6. So look, people behave differently with venoms. It's not actually till you know and you're bitten how your body's going to react. So does everybody know that probably the most one of the most common deaths from animals or insects in Australia or the world is bees? How many people are allergic to bees? So you can get an anaphylactic reaction. Now, he has just shed his skin, so what I'll do is I'll take his skin out first, and I will show you that. So this is what I was talking about, sloughing or shedding. And then I'll give him a little bit of food. Okay.
Put the rock back.
I'm going to put the rock back here. It's his habitat. Alright, now he's a smaller snake, so therefore he gets a smaller meal. So we're going to give him a little furry mouse here. Now he may or may not eat. And he should do. we'll just leave it there for him, okay? There, the head shields and everything like that, you can count it out when you put it in, and it'll tell you who's who. Copperhead. Now, this is a species that is basically found on Cleland Island. It used to be considered quite common. However, once the fires have gone through there, we don't know how that population has actually been affected. I was over there and I certainly photographed some dead ones, so they didn't survive. How much of their numbers have been affected, we won't know for some time. So it used to be their stronghold, but you know, it could be now that their numbers are quite depleted. It is considered endangered or threatened here in the Mount Lofty Ranges, and the reason for that is cats and dogs and foxes. Okay. It's again found near water, and it does mainly feed on frogs and skinks. You can in captivity get them to feed on the mice, and we've managed to do that with this one. Where you find pygmy copperheads, you don't tend to find red-bellied black snakes and tigers, and vice versa. Okay. Most of those species are prone to being cannibalistic. Okay. In other words, they'll eat their own kind, or they'll eat other snakes as well. There are three species of copperhead in Australia. We have this one here, the pygmy copperhead, which is only found in South Australia. We have the lowland copperhead, which you can find down in Mount Gambier through to Victoria. And then in New South Wales and the highlands of Victoria, you get the highland copperhead. All very similar. Easy way to tell the difference between these guys and red-bellied black snake is these guys are never shiny black. Okay, and if you have a look at the lips, there's basically barring on there, whereas the red-bellied black snake doesn't have that. Don't get too close to check it out, but that's the way to do it. They also don't have that pimple head on them underneath. The heat's usually pretty good. Yes, he is. He's looking there. He's a small snake.
I don't like touching them. Do snakes eat poison on frogs?
Not usually, no. We don't have any here in Australia. But we do have an introduced one that's causing a lot of problems, and that's the cane toad. Alright, I'll just pop that there. The snake that we do have here in Australia, and the reason for that is it is quite common. It is also a species that will live near us in our backyards and that, and the reason for that is it mainly feeds on mammals, so mice and rats. So it's one that will come near homes. Okay, it's not an aggressive species, but if cornered, threatened or broke, eastern browns don't play with us, and they will bite, and they will bite repeatedly, and they are quite toxic in their venom. Okay, so the reason I'll get you guys to go back is because I don't know where he is at the moment until he actually starts moving. Okay.
He could actually jump up.
And he's been known to be quite active.
Is there mine for every single snake?
There you are, my friend.
Where is it?
His head's just there.
Well, the man asked you to step back.
Step back.
To the car.
Oh, there he is. He's tiny. He has a tiny head. I can see. I can see. He has a tiny head. There he is.
Eastern browns, it just depends on the individual. They will bite and hold on like he's done. They can bite and release. They can go fast. And this one's a king brown. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to feed this one first, and then I'll feed the inland taipan.
Shut the door! Shut the door! Why get out? Make them He's gonna bite you. No, don't
Big
keep
enough.
it. Don't keep it. I want to see this.
Yeah, good.
The most venomous.
Most venomous.
He's the most poison. He's the most venomous. He's the most. He's gonna hold it down. I got it. His right big back so long. Where is it? No, it's a big one.
Look at that one. He's right there.
It's a monster.
You still want to listen to her?
I think he's the most monster.
Yeah, dragon might be more their speed.
Should we go to the email? Should we go see the email? Oh, there's a bee. Don't look at me. It's three. One, two, three.
बाहेर जाऊन बोल काय बोल परफेक्ट एक्सप्रेशन क्लोजर
He blinked. Yeah,
you also blink
Hey.
one more time Vignan hold the expression he is closing his hands also for you he's tired of you already he has become friend with you
Hey, don't close your eyes. Hey, don't close your eyes at me. Hey, they even have a home. Look, a barrel.
I'm going to put the rock back here. He's habitat. Alright, now he's a smaller snake, so therefore he gets a smaller meal. So we're going to give him a little furry mouse here. And he may or may not eat.
He's almost done.
Okay?
He's almost up to take it. That's a big one.
Now, when you have a look at the snake,
तू पड़पड़ो लेको Нет сюда смотри
Whoa, what's that?